Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be reviewing a new pipe tobacco. We're going to be talking about this Dunhill nightcap. I want to remind everyone before I start the video that this is intended for a mature audience of anyone who is of legal age to smoke. I do not promote or encourage any kind of underage smoking. So yeah, today we're talking about the Dunhill nightcap. Very famous English blend. And I've heard so much stuff about this tobacco, but just like the rest of the reviews, I'm going in with a clear mind. There's no expectation for this to blow me away and be amazing, nor is there any expectations of it being poor. This is going to be smoked in this new 7LE Churchwarden. Very long stem, very cool pipe. I'm dedicating this pipe to English blends. So far I have another pipe, and this pipe is a Medico from Italy. And this one looks surprisingly similar, although they are two completely different pipes. Different ball sizes, different finishes, but they both happen to be black. So these are my dedicated English pipes. Let's crack the tin open, take a look at it a little bit, talk about it. First of all, what's in Dunhill's nightcap? We have Virginia's, Latakia, Perique, and Turkish tobaccos. Okay, all very distinguishable. The Turkish, Latakia, and Perique are all very strong flavored tobaccos. The Virginias can be mild. It really just depends on what kind of Virginias and what process they went through. But Latakia is smoke cured. Okay, so it does have a very rich, strong, smoky scent to it. Okay, when you pop this tin open, by the way, this is a 50-gram tin or 1.76 ounces for us Americans. This tin came from pipesandcigars.com. Their price on this is $9.45, which is a very good price. You find the same tobacco other places, and you're looking at $20, $25, sometimes $30 or $35. Really depends on different countries as well with their tobacco taxes. But $9.45 is a great price for this, and like I said, with most of their stuff, if you buy a bunch or buy in bulk, that price goes down even more. But yeah, 50-gram tin for 10 bucks. Pop this open. All right, now as soon as you pop this open, you get a very strong, smoky Latakia in your face smell, okay? I think English blends in general are an acquired taste, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in the review, but let's open this up. You have a little paper covering. And then you're greeted with a little message, Dunhill Tobacco Collection. This fine tobacco is one of our renowned collection, a range of distinguished tobaccos carefully blended from the finest leaf to provide a particularly attractive choice of tobacco. Oh, this little piece tobacco is for the discriminating smoker. Ask your tobacconist for us, ask your tobacconist or us for further information. Sometimes it's hard reading through a viewfinder. But anyway, you get the little lift tab here, lift it up, and then we get into the tobacco. So let's take a close look at it. You can see all the different colors. Some of the lighter ones are the Virginias, some of the darker ones are the Latakia and the Perique and Turkish. Nice range of color. All these tin tobaccos, by the way, they are firmly pressed. They're packed into the tin, so it may not look like that much, but a little over 1.5 ounces of tobacco here. If you were to fluff this up in a Ziploc bag, it would look 3 or 4 times its size, but it is kind of pressed into a cake. So you just kind of pinch into it, and you can loosen up a little bit, get a little waft here. Very strong, distinctive English smell. I mean, there's no mistaking it. Once you've tried English, you know exactly what to expect. On the nose, just by smelling it, I can tell you it's very, very reminiscent to a peated whiskey. And when I started trying some different whiskeys, having like the Ardbeg 10-year-old, and some of the other Islay whiskeys, it's very distinctive, earthy, rich, just bold smells. And this is no different. The only other English I've tried so far is Boswell's Northwoods, which I quite enjoyed, and we could be comparing this directly to that since it's also very popular and well known. Alright guys, I'm outside now. Got my nightcap packed up in my 7LE Churchwarden. It's a beautiful, calm night. It was warmer today. I say warmer, it was about 40, which felt pretty warm in the last couple weeks. Sun's starting to go down though, so it's getting a little bit colder. Real quiet and peaceful out here, so anyway, going to be using my matches today for the traditionalists, so no one gets mad about any kind of lighter use. And here we go, the initial charring light. Nice little wooden tamper from Poland. Alright, all charred up now. And I have my actual lighting. As the sun comes out and pokes me in the face. Upon initial taste, I can tell you directly comparing it to Northwoods, another very common English blend from Boswell's. It's very similar. It's that same Latakia punch. I can tell you that it's hitting stronger than Boswell's. It kind of, to me, it's like a beefed up version of the of Northwoods. Again, I'm going to use the reference of peated whiskeys. It's very much like a more peat or heavily peated whiskey as opposed to a lesser peated whiskey. It's kind of rough around the edges, still very pleasant. Mouthfeel is definitely heavier, oilier, thicker, richer. It's not necessarily a bad feel. Again, I mean, directly comparing it, if you happen to be a whiskey drinker or have any kind of appreciation for whiskeys, the difference between a very heavily peated whiskey and something that's just lacking that peat. Think of peat moss, you know, that kind of a flavor, but it sounds gross. It's not gross. It's very pleasurable. Has an earthiness to it, a richness to it, definitely more bold, by far more bold than Northwoods. I can tell you though that because of its strength, so far, at least on the initial light, that I can see why some people would prefer, say, Northwoods over this, that this might not be an everyday smoke. This would be a once in a while type thing. And I can tell you Nightcap is a very appropriate name for this because it's way too in your face to, I would say, enjoy when you first wake up. You know, I'm not a morning pipe smoker, and in general, I'm not an afternoon pipe smoker. You know, most of the time when I enjoy a pipe, it's after dinner. And even then, it's not every day. But this definitely has bold, rich flavors, which I really enjoy. Alright, well, I'm going to continue to enjoy this bowl, and I'll get back with you. I'm not going to do like a middle thing this time. I'll get back with you when I'm at the end of the bowl and give you my thoughts and opinions. Alright, so I'll be right back. By the way, before I go, I have to tell you, I love this church warden. Ever since I saw the first Lord of the Rings, I knew that I would want a pipe like this. It's just, there's something about it. It's just, it's a pretty cool pattern. So anyway, I'll be back with you guys in a little while. Alright guys, my bowl is officially done. I'm going to tell you all about the experience and what I thought. First of all, let me just mention that this is a smaller size bowl. I mean, it's only, you know, comes up to second knuckle on my pinky. Okay, it's not a very wide bowl either. And this was close to an hour's smoke. So very slow burning, which is a huge plus. I mean, any kind of tobacco, you'd want it to last as long as possible. So that's a huge bonus. Very slow smoking. A couple notes on this. First of all, overall I do like it. I like it a lot. For me, it offers full flavor, full body, very much a boldness and a richness that I've never had before. Okay, However, for some people, that's going to be a downside. It is in your face, a lot of Kia. It is in your face English, and it may be too strong for some people. I would definitely suggest having it as a nightcap. Definitely not recommended for a morning smoke or even a midday smoke. Something else to note is the fact that some of these English blends, they're not necessarily going to be public friendly. So if you're someone looking to maybe puff in, in a public area or a crowded area, it may be offensive to some people, whereas aromatics, for the most part, are not as offensive. Not everyone necessarily wants to smell cherries or fruit, or caramel, but it's definitely a little more pleasant for non-smokers than something like this, which is definitely more powerful. Even though I'm not in a room to get a room note, occasionally I just kind of go over the bowl and see how it's smelling as it's burning. And although I'm enjoying it as I'm enjoying the flavor, I can definitely tell you that it's probably not something that the average person is going to appreciate. Comparing this directly to Northwoods, it's Northwoods on steroids. That's the best way I can put it to you. If you are a fan of Northwoods or English blends in general, it's definitely something I would highly recommend you try. However, I think this is one of those things that goes, little goes a long way. I would not recommend this for very large bowls or for multiple bowls throughout the day. I would be limited on this type of tobacco. It is very strong and very bold. I think it's great. It's full flavored. I'm growing to like English blends quite a bit. It's a totally different experience than aromatics, and I've liked it a lot. Again, comparing this to say a peated whiskey, it's very earthy, and it's hard to explain what I mean by that. It tastes similar to what the woods smell like when it's really wet after a rainstorm, or if you're kicking up dirt, if you're digging. It has that rich, full-bodied nature smell, and it sounds very strange, and it doesn't sound appeasing to most people. If you never experienced something like this, you might think, well, do I really want to taste dirt or mushrooms or tree bark? That sounds disgusting. It's not like eating a piece of candy. It's different, but it's a very pleasant experience, and it's something you'd have to try for yourself to understand. I think heavy English blends like this, full-bodied Englishes, are definitely hit and miss with people. It's a love-hate relationship. Either you love it or you hate it. Most people aren't going to be like, kind of. No, either you're really into it or you're not. I have to say I'm definitely really into it. However, the little drawback to this, there's two drawbacks. One, it's very strong. So for me, this is not something I'll have all the time. This will be on special occasion. And as far as Englishes go in general, I find that for me it's an acquired taste. 9 out of 10 times, I'm not going to go for an English. I'm going to go for something that's fruity or lighter, But every now and then I want something that really hits the spot. This will certainly do the job. Okay, so it's definitely serving a purpose in my little tobacco stash. But the other thing I did notice, unlike the Northwoods, is it had a little bit of bite towards the end, because it did get progressively stronger. Now, it held its flavor throughout the entire bowl, but as it got stronger, I got a little bit of a dryness at the back of the throat. Not quite a soreness after the fact, but similar to if you're hanging out around a campfire for a while, and you get that little bit of smokiness from just inhaling the campfire smoke. A little bit of that. It's not terribly uncomfortable or anything, but it's definitely something I've noticed towards the tail end there. So slow burning, very smooth. I hear a lot of people saying that there's a creaminess to it. I'm not picking up any of the creaminess. That's just my palate, my taste. But it's very enjoyable, very pleasurable, and I really, really like it. So anyway, that's it. I love this pipe. It's pretty cool. If I didn't already mention it, it's very Lord of the Rings-ish, and smokes very nice. But that's for the review of the pipe when that time comes. But yeah, Dunhill's nightcap is it's popular for a reason. Let's put it that way. I'd love to try down the line the original, one of the older tins that's maybe been cellared or aged for 5, 6, 10, 15 years, something like that, to see what the difference is. But anyway, just want to do a review on that, and I found it to be very pleasurable. So take my opinion with a grain of salt. Link will be in the description box to where I got it from pipesandcigars.com. Again, less than $10 I think was an awesome price. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it as always. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. By the way, you can see the sun did go down and it got cold. but having a nice little pipe can warm me up. That's all. Take it easy, guys.